Hello. Today we're going to look at Blender and how to take an object in Blender and get it into Unity. We won't be doing really any 3D modeling with this because I'm not really a 3D modeler, but I do want you to get your feet wet in Blender and know how to take a Blender object and get it into Unity at the proper scale. And when I say proper scale, I mean that Unity has a scale of 1 unit is about a meter, and we want to make sure that our units in Blender equal our units in Unity. It makes things much easier if you can model your objects at the right scale so that you don't have to scale them in Unity for a variety of different reasons. So we're going to look at that now. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is I'm going to create a new project in Unity real quick. I'm going to set that in my 111 folder. And we'll call this Bivans-SGD111-Blender2Unity-Block. Alright. Save that. We don't need any of the packages, so we're going to say create project right there. Alright, so the first thing we want to do, we're just going to save this scene, right? And we're going to call the scene Blender to Unity. Alright, and we just save it in assets for now. That's fine. So we're going to learn a few things here. We're going to learn to create a block in Unity, which is a big deal. We're going to learn to label them in Unity, which is very helpful when you get a lot of objects in your Unity scene. All right, so the first thing we want to do is just create a game object, create other, cube. All right. And you'll see the cube in your scene window. This one actually did create at 0, 0, 0, but sometimes it won't. So we want to come here and we're going to say reset position. Right? And reset position will put your object at 0, 0, 0, or the origin as it's known. Alright, so now what we want to do is we want to label this. If you come over here in the inspector, you'll see this little colored block. You click on that, it'll give you an icon selection. We're going to select this teal one here. And then you'll see if you look in your scene window, it has a label on it. Let's go over here in our hierarchy, right? And we're going to rename that. I want you to rename your last name and then cube. All right. So now you see Bivans Cube in your window. Now we're going to open up Blender. So we're going to create a cube in Blender that is exactly the same size as the Unity cube. The reason to do this is to make sure that the scales are the same. Because later on, when you start creating models that have animations in them, if you don't create the scale correctly in Blender, in your 3D modeling application, the animations can get very, very messed up in Unity. All right, so we just click over here, and it gives us a cube right off the bat, so we don't have to do a whole lot, right? So while Unity gives you a cube that's 1 meter cubed, Blender's initial cube is actually 2 meters cubed. So it's basically twice as large as we need. So we need to scale it down. And we want to scale it down exactly. So we don't want to use, you can use the scale tool. You click on that, and then you can just type 0.5, right? Just type 0.5 and hit enter. And you've just halved it right there. You've cut it in half. All right. So let's undo that, and I'll show you again, right? You can just hit S on your keyboard, put you in scale mode, and then 0.5, enter. And you've made it half the size that it was. Actually, probably like an eighth of the size it was because it's cubed, right? So now we can just save this file, save, right? And we're going to go to this class that I was in, which is actually here, SGD111. There we go, assets folder. And here we're going to name this Blender Block. Right. And say Blender file. And since this is going straight into your asset folder, it will automatically import into Unity. Now here we are in Unity again. And you'll see it's importing right there. Right? And if you look in your assets folder, we have a Blender block right here. So now we're going to take this and just drag it into your scene. And what we want to do is align these two. And what we're going to do now is called vertex snapping. Right? So you want to make sure you're on your move tool here, right? Which is W. Your hotkey is W, right? And then you want to hold down V and point at a vertex like this, and you can drag it up, and it'll snap right to the other cube, or my Bivans cube there. Right? So now we have and you'll notice, and it should be that your Unity block and your Blender block are exactly the same size. So now click on your Blender block, and we're going to go up here to this blocks here, and we're going to give it a label, and it should say Blender block. Click off that. What I want you to do is take a screenshot of this and then crop out just this picture here, right? And make sure your last name is in it. And what you're going to do is take a screenshot, crop out the scene window, and I want you to post it to our forum. That will be your assignment this week. All right? That's all there is to it.